Welcome back to Jesse's Performance, everybody. Today we are unveiling Project Cabover to the customer. Me and the crew have been working day and night like slaves to get this thing done in the amount of time. He requested that we have it done so we could take it to Rednecks with Paychecks, and it was not a really realistic timeline, but we accepted the challenge. It's been about 30 days now since we, did the deal to go to Rednecks with Paychecks, and in that time we managed to put it all together. I mean, we did a video about 8 months ago of it in pieces, and it wasn't very far along, and we have overcome some major hurdles in this last 8 months to get this thing done. Let me tell you about the truck. First, the customer came with me wanting to do an old COE, which means Cabover Engine. It's like the old style semi trucks from back in the day. I was able to locate this one from a mutual friend, Kelly Harvey. He had it sitting for a long time. It was an old Wyotech build that they had put together for a paint supply company. So it had a stake pocket bed, it had bucket seats, it was a 350, it was lowered, it was really dated and pretty ugly. We'll insert some pictures. Since we took possession of the truck, we had very few requirements from the customer. He wanted an LS, he wanted a power adder, it had to be manual, had to be 4-wheel drive, and it had to be black. So we started off with a 2005 3500 dually chassis. They come in gas 8.1 powered vehicles and Duramaxes, but neither mattered for us because we're going LS. What me and Billy did is we actually cut the frame down. I believe it's like 20 or 22 inches in the front. We cut like 8 inches off the front of it, off the very front, to get the fenders and grill and everything. And then I think we cut like 10 inches off the back just because we ran out of real estate and we had to snub the back off. So we did that. We fish plated the center together. We set it's a 6-liter base bored to a 6.2. It's an iron 6.2. We got that in there. It's got an MB 3500 that was built. It's got a MP 241 converted to, it's all set up as an all-wheel drive transfer case now. We did the 22.5 Alcoa conversion. We had them milled down locally, and we put 22-inch tires on there, like road tires. And believe it or not, they're not really noisy on the highway. Of course, everything else is noisy, so maybe that just drowns it out, but it drives really well. It drives like a 2005 Duramax would. It's got a good suspension, it's about the same weight. We did end up putting a VS Racing 7875 Gen 2 turbo on it. It's making about 5 or 6 pounds of boost. Pump gas, very reliable, starts every time, cruises great. It'll drive 80 miles an hour in 5th gear, no problem. It's awesome. All right, so one of the tricks that Wyotech had done is shave the door handles and put one-piece power windows in, which presented a challenge with door handles for us. So what we did is we got these trick handles that have like a micro switch in the back, and it pops the door open. So yeah. So it's a wireless door jamb, so it has these wireless connection pins. So as the door shuts, it makes contact and the power coming to the door, and then you just push the button, and that's what pops it open. And it lights up red, so like if you're in the dark, you can find it easily. And then we got these up is up and down is down window switches. So they're pretty trick. A lot of aftermarket pieces went into this. It wasn't so much like setting up the chassis and getting the geometry right there. It was all the little add-ons. It's got Dakota Digital Dash. It's got Vintage Air. It's got cruise control, trailer brakes. It's got a push button emergency brake. It's got push button 4-wheel drive. It's got modern LED headlights. It's got a fully wrapped interior, which is really trick and hard to do. We had North Texas upholstery do it. They're right up the street from us. They did a really good job. The customer really liked the red seat idea, so we put a red seat in it. We had a shift boot made to match. The customer is a Snap-on franchise owner, So we had to use the snap-on pry bar as a shift handle. So that's like a, you know, probably $300 shift lever, but it's all good. And then yeah, we got custom teardrop armrests. I mean, this thing is just, like I said, it's every aftermarket piece that you could want out of a hot rod book, this thing has. And it drives like just a new truck. It's really great.
What was your biggest challenge building this truck?
There were so many big challenges. I think the biggest challenge was getting foot room in the floorboard, because on a cabover, you're sitting on top of the engine, and the engine is really tall. You don't have much room, so you end up sacrificing your floor space to cover the engine, and then you have very, very, very little foot space. So we made a video about it before, but we took the Holley low ram intake, we modified it to move the throttle body. That's the lowest piece we could get. I mean, we moved the engine lower. We dropped the front axle to be able to lower the engine even further. I think we've got it down like as low as it'll go, but it still has ample ground clearance. But yeah, I think that was probably the biggest hurdle. Billy did a lot of the fabrication on this. He did a really good job. I think he learned a lot, you know. I mean, we all learned a lot building this, but I think Billy really learned a lot and came a long ways in his fabrication skills and problem solving skills on just this vehicle alone. Yeah, about a week ago, the customer said he wanted skirts. So we had to custom make these. Just, you know, they're functionable, they hide the frame, they kind of complete the truck. And then originally these fenders weren't a part of the build, but he wants to travel around the country, and a lot of states have fender laws where you have to have fenders. You can't have open wheels because it, you know, rock chips and it's not safe on the highway. So that was a challenge. And then we got Dave down at Nortex Auto Works. He helped us cut all the stick steel stuff. He built the step. He did this, cut this rear panel for us. He did a really good job. Many late nights helping us out this last, you know, couple weeks. I mean, this thing's all wired up for a trailer, like a functional trailer brake. We redid the wood. It's a black stain with a satin clear. We repolished the original bed strips that came with the project. They were all pretty straight and nice, so we just went ahead and repolished them. We replaned the wood, restained the wood, reinstalled the wood. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that goes into this thing. It's unreal.
It's totally different in person too. It's just really hard to portray through video or
like there's
pictures.
There's a part of you that wants to think, man, that's a really big truck, and then you look at it next to like just another truck, like, and you're like, oh, it's not that big, but it's just like, it's
just so different.
Proportionally, it's just, yeah, you're not used to seeing those kind of proportions. So this is not chrome paint. Okay, it's a carbon effect metallic. It's a GM Cadillac color. It took us about 3 days, full steam, to get the body work, get it prepped, and get it painted and clear coated. We had to fix some old body work that had came through. We actually pressure washed some of the old paint where the sealer didn't adhere from when Wyotech painted it many years ago. Like, we were just pressure washing, trying to clean it to get ready to prep it, and the paint came off, so we ended up stripping the whole cab. I mean, it was a nightmare, and it turned out really good considering, I mean, what the time crunch was. 2 nights ago, talking to the customer, he didn't like the look of the front end without a bumper. And the bumper we had that came with the project was a piece of shit. There was no way we could use it. So I got on Summit's website. I found the only chrome bumper for this close to era truck. It's for a 47 to 54 truck. We went and bought it. It actually ended up being like 10 inches too narrow for the effect we were going. So I had Billy section the center out. He worked late last night building this really cool license plate mount, and he actually TIG welded it back together and didn't destroy any of the chrome. He did a really good job. That was just like the last minute curveball amongst all the other curveballs building this thing. I mean, we have probably thousands of dollars into overnight shipping and rushing parts, but it's all worth it to see the customer's reaction.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
We last minute got this glass cut, right?
Yeah, the glass was a process. Actually, like, last minute got the glass cut, and then the passenger window broke, and then I slammed the driver's door and broke that window. So, yeah, I'm well experienced in purchasing glass for cabovers at this point. Billy, we forget anything? Look, Billy's got a nice shirt on. He's got a nice hat on.
I know.
Looking good today.
Looking good, Billy.
What's your least favorite part about building this? What was your least favorite part? Other than the late nights and working the extra hours, because that doesn't count.
Least favorite.
Yeah.
Probably shifter.
The shifter? Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the shifter, but we got some pictures of it. So what we had to do is, the shifter is like, say here, the transmission is here. We tried about 4 different variations of bars and plates and whatever to get that remote working perfectly, and after, I don't know, we probably got 50 or 60 hours into just the shifter. We got the ratios right, we got a stiff enough bar, I mean, it shifts like butter. But that was...
Yeah, it's like prototype number like 6.
Yeah, between the shifter and the pedals,
Stupid. Yeah, oh, and the pedals too.
the pedals. Billy had to custom make these pedals, the clutch pedal and the brake pedal, and we had to do the math and get the ratios right, and had to get them stiff enough not to bend, but not too bulky to where they'd fit. It's a lot. The gas pedal is all custom. Yeah. And then like we got about like 18 inches for all 3 pedals. And so we had a little extra room and we decided to put a speaker in the kick panel.
Yeah.
That was a poor choice. Design wise on my part, just because it crunches everything down, but it works. The speaker's out of the way, it's safe, it's really, stereo system sounds really good. Very simple. You know, the guy that drives this he's not high on the electronic times, but you know, as long as he can put some country music in there and, you know, cry himself to sleep, I think he'll be all right.
Stadium music.
Stadium music?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's like the pop country.
Yeah. That must be a Texas thing. They don't have that in Colorado. It's just country. He flew here. He's got a trailer with the old frame and some of the old parts to take back with him, and he's gonna drive this thing to Oklahoma first, and then all the way back to Colorado. And I've drove this thing a couple 100 miles, and it's like one of those, it's a hot rod that's cool to drive, but it is not a road trip vehicle at all. And it's small, and it's hot, and it's got air conditioning, but it's still like, it's noisy. It's just, yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's small. You're in like a little time capsule.
Yeah, it's absolutely a time capsule.
Well, and it's a chop top too. It's not even the size.
It's not even as tall as it would be.
No. If you had to do this again, Billy,
No.
what would you change?
No, that wasn't a question if.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What would
Automatic transmission.
automatic transmission? That would be a huge.
That would have made it so much
Two-wheel
fun.
drive.
Yeah.
Two-wheel drive automatic transmission.
Well, even a 4-wheel drive, like it would suck, but like just the manual versus automatic, there's just so much more to it.
See, and if I was to do it again, I'd cut the cab in half and make it wider. That would be my change. It's more work, not less work, more work. But I think that would have just proportionally helped us out.
Yeah.
Because we had a seat, put a lot of money into getting the seat done red, and put it in the truck and it wouldn't fit. There's no way to make it fit. It was wide. I mean, we measured the back of the cab and not thinking that how the cab narrows up. I blew that. So I lost my ass on that deal. Went to the junkyard, got a caravan seat, had it rewrapped. It fits perfectly. It's comfortable.
It's perfect.
This is a 2-person cab. You got to be friendly with whoever you're with because it is tight.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for following the build. Let us know what you think of it. We have lots and lots of pictures of this, so if you want to see any steps along the way, you know, the only thing I hope is that you don't call me and say, how much is it going to cost to build one of those? Because,
No.
yeah, I know what this one cost me to build, and I know what I charge the customer, and
Those are 2 different
not
numbers.
intersect where
Yeah.
we wanted it to.
yeah. Turns out you don't always make money building stuff, right? Yeah. But it's okay. We learned a lot. But yeah, we don't want to build. At least give us a year, and then maybe call us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? We got lots of other cool builds we're working on.
Yeah. Like, you know, I think you're gonna see us coming out with this crazier and crazier builds. You know, LS swap, you know, Fords and Dodges and crazy builds, and yeah, you know, lots of horsepower and yeah, it should be fun. Like, subscribe, ring the bell.
Bitches.
Friend Billy. Billy needs a date.
Hey, don't put that video.
Put that in there. Billy needs a date. Come on the internet.
Billy needs a date.
All right.
Don't
Thank
put
you.
that in the fucking video.